Hello, Professor Badassa's geology class. Today we will be teaching you all about dinosaurs and the Mesozoic era in which they lived. Dinosaurs existed back when Earth was still one big supercontinent called Pangaea. Dinosaurs roamed the planet for about 135 million years. They first appeared in the Mesozoic era and mysteriously disappeared at the end of the Cretaceous period around 65 million years ago. Dinosaurs came in all different types. Some big, some small, some walked on 4 legs, some walked on 2 legs, some were fast, and some even had horns. Birds are dinosaurs' modern-day ancestors. Today we are going to talk about the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous periods. The Triassic period was 250 to 200 million years ago, Jurassic 200 to 145, and Cretaceous 145 to 65 million years.
The Jurassic period was a very important time for the dinosaurs. The Jurassic period was the second part of the Mesozoic era. It occurred from 199.6 to 145.5 million years ago. Pangaea was just beginning to split apart at this time. Laurasia and Gondwana began to split apart at this time. The Gulf of Mexico and the North Atlantic Ocean came into existence, and mountains grew on the seafloor, pushing water onto the continents. The continent went from a hot and dry climate to a subtropical climate. Hunters at this time were the Carnosaurs and the Coelurosaurs. There are 3 parts to the Jurassic period. The early Jurassic period, which was about 176 to 200 million years ago, was called the Liassic epoch. This is the time when the Earth became warmer, like a rainforest climate. This encouraged reptile expansion. This is when Pangaea again began to split apart. New marine reptiles such as the Ichthyosaurus came to be and evolved. Ammonoid life began to evolve, which lasted throughout the period. And lastly, terrestrial animals. These are the animals that live predominantly or entirely on land, such as the Tenari, the Stegosaur, and the Coelurosaurus. The Middle Jurassic was known as the Dogger Epoch and happened around 176 to 161 million years ago. This led to the formation of the Atlantic Ocean. The Dogger Epoch did not see such dramatic change as the Liassic Epoch did. The Liassic saw this growth due to many species extinction. One major species to come about at this time was the crocodilian species. New terrestrial life came about at this time, such as the Cedosaurus and the Brachiosaurus. What we consider to be true mammals also came about at this time. The end of the Jurassic period is known as the Malm Epoch, which was about 161 to 146 million years ago. Some overall facts about the Jurassic period are the Rocky and Sierra Nevada mountains came about at this time. Reptiles were the main animal at this time. The Brachiosaurus stood up to 52 feet tall and stretched nearly 85 feet and weighed 80 tons. Many mammals at this time were very small and irrelevant. Despite the depictions of the Hollywood-inspired Jurassic Park, the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Velociraptor didn't come about until the Cretaceous period.
The first period of the Mesozoic era was the Triassic period. This period lasted from 252 million years ago to 201 million years ago. At the beginning of the Triassic period, 248 million years ago, the Permo-Triassic extinction wiped out 95% of species, making way for mammals and dinosaurs. During the Triassic period, amphibians, reptiles, and dicynodonts emerged. 220 million years ago, the first mammals emerged in the form of tiny nocturnal creatures. Scientists believe that they developed from an extinct mammal-like reptile. The first turtles, frogs, salamanders, lizards, and birds, such as the pterosaur, appeared in the Triassic period. During this period, insects began to fully develop to their adult form, and seed plants dominated the region. The geology and climate of the Triassic period was hot and dry. Pangaea had a desert-like interior and moist and temperate polar regions. The northern continents of Pangaea are called Laurasia, and the southern continents were called Gondwanaland. The Tethys Sea separated the two regions, and one enormous world ocean was called Panthalassa. Paleographers used paleomagnetic data to determine the continental shape and rock types that constituted Pangaea. Thick clastic sediments accumulated around the present-day Pacific region of Pangaea, as well as north and south of the Tethys Sea. The circum-Pacific region and northeastern part of the Tethys Sea were bordered by active plate margins. The northwestern and southern part of the Tethys Sea were bordered by passive plate margins. In the late Triassic period, mass extinction occurred along with massive volcanic eruptions. Pangaea began to break apart, and 35% of animal families became extinct. Most of the primitive dinosaurs died out, but the more adaptive ones lived on to the Jurassic period.
The Cretaceous is defined as the period between 145.5 and 65.5 million years ago, the last period of the Mesozoic era, following the Jurassic and ending with the extinction of dinosaurs except for birds. Pangaea was already ripping apart, and by the mid-Cretaceous it had split into several smaller continents. Many new forms of dinosaurs also began to appear. Also during this time, we find the first fossils of many insects, modern mammals and bird groups, and the first flowering plants. Many important events happened in the Cretaceous period. Perhaps the most important of these events, at least for terrestrial life, was the first appearance of flowering plants. Forests evolved to look similar to present-day forests, with oaks, hickories, and magnolias becoming common in North America by the end of the Cretaceous. At about the same time, many modern groups of insects were beginning to diversify, and we find the oldest known ants and butterflies. Grasshoppers and grass sloths appear in the Cretaceous, as well as termites and ants in the later part of this period, as well as bees, which played an important part in flowers. At the end of the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago, an asteroid hit Earth in the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico.
Fossils left over from this event gave concrete evidence of the extinction. Another result of this dramatic event is the thin clay layer left on Earth's surface called the KT boundary, dividing eras. Each era is ended with a mass extinction. This layer of clay envelopes the entire Earth. There are multiple theories for the cause of the KT extinction. One of the more accepted theories is that an asteroid hit Earth over 6 miles across, approximately the size of Mount Everest. This asteroid may have hit Mexico, leaving a crater on the surface that led to this theory. This crater corresponds with the date ending the Cretaceous period. The crater is 125 miles wide and 20 miles deep, also corresponding with the size of the impact of the asteroid. The asteroid dramatically altered the Earth, causing significant damage and natural disasters. Some examples of these events were volcanic activity, fires, tsunamis, seismic activities. An acid rain may have killed plants, leaving herbivores to die of starvation. Volcanoes caused large amounts of carbon dioxide to be ejected into the air, killing food marine life needed for survival. These events also increased the atmosphere's temperature, making it difficult for many species to survive. Along with the volcanic activity, the sun may have been blocked, leaving the Earth to be in darkness for an extended period of time. These natural disasters affected large animals over 55 pounds. 85% of dinosaurs went extinct due to these events. 80 to 90% of marine life were also affected because important processes could not be completed due to the effects of the asteroid. The KT extinction led to the age of mammals and the end of dinosaurs.